I hate exclusive Nendoroids and artificial scarcity. I've been on record expressing my interest about the Bayonetta Nendoroid for like nearly a year and a half, ever since she was announced. She has to be one of, if not the figure that I have been most looking forward to buying for a long time. And yet, her pre-order window has nearly entirely come and gone without me even noticing. God knows if this video will even be out in time before it closes. If it's not, you've missed out. You'd think that through doing my monthly pre-order roundup videos, I'd see her on AmiAmi, but oh no. You won't find Bayonetta on AmiAmi, HLJ, Cedar Japan, or probably whatever Japanese online shop you like buying from. No, from what I can tell, she's arbitrarily only available through Goodsmile partner stores, or something. Some stores have her, but most don't, and I can't really think of a single reason why other than that. It's super disappointing to me. In addition to all of this, her price is jacked up the wazoo for God knows what reason. Maybe it's the Nintendo tax, if anything? She's 7,300 yen on the official Goodsmile store, which is the most I've ever seen for a non-deluxe, completely standard release Nendoroid go for at retail price. I'll save my rant on figure prices for another video. I've got a whole lot of stuff about that. But I do find it very curious that this is the figure that they choose to make exclusive, and this is the price that they decide to place her at. Despite all that, there is no doubt that Bayo looks absolutely gorgeous, but taking a look at her accessories, it's pretty clear that there isn't any compelling reason for her price to be so much higher than any other standard Nendoroid. It's not some crazy deluxe edition. They could have gone so much further with this if they really wanted to. It really is just Bayo with some very standard accessories and a bunch of limbs. I try my best to not let FOMO get to me as much as possible, but I'm legit getting really anxious about this. On one hand, I don't really want to support GSC for this whack, limited, exclusive release, and the price that they've placed her at. On the other hand, Bayonetta is one of my favorite games, and this is basically my only shot at grabbing her at a fair price. Everyone on MFC is already expecting her price to soar once she finally releases. I feel like I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. Even worse is that I like her design in the second game more. Do I need to buy this one to show my support for the character on the off chance that she gets another one? Do I wait and hope it happens anyway? I hate this feeling. And as I'm writing the script now, I have less than 48 hours to decide, and by the time you see this, even less. For buying options, even though she's releasing at 7.3k, it's not even including shipping costs. And I'm seeing Japanese export sites listing her for upwards of 9k, while local stores have her for the equivalent of about 10.5k yen. I have trouble convincing myself to pay these prices for long out of stock Nendos that I'm desperate to own, let alone one that should be freely available on any store I want with appropriate discounts. I'm fine with things like pre-order bonuses, store bonuses, alternate colors or outfit versions of existing figures, but I'm not in the business of restricting completely new figures to an arbitrary limit which hurts the fans and collectors who actually want to own it the most. GSC makes less money, and it's harder for people to get a hold of. The whole thing seems like a lose-lose scenario. This isn't the first time that I've been completely baffled by their decisions on making certain figures limited and exclusive. Like, hey, imagine you're a ReZero fan. Here's Rem, and Ram, and Amelia, and Patrice, but if you want Subaru, the main goddamn character of the story. Sorry, we only made 1,000 of him for an event and opened online orders for a week 10 months ago, before you even knew it existed, so we can make sure you never ever get it. That happened back in February, but it has been going on for years. Side note here, this scenario literally happened to me with Lord Grimm from King's Avatar, where I found out about the figure and the extremely short pre-order window a week after it closed, and I'm still super salty that I don't have him. If this can happen to me, as someone who is relatively clued in to what's going on in the world of figures, I feel like it can happen to so many other people too. Anyway, another example is Nendoroid 600, which was a super special release that they celebrated by releasing an updated Saber from Fate. It's an excellent idea because she's a very popular character, which is also the same reason that proves it to be completely stupid. Yes, this was a limited release, like Subaru and Lord Grimm, and I guess after realizing how much money they were leaving on the table, 3 years later GSC decided to repackage the release, add a new sword, take a few things out, call it 600B, and release it as a completely standard Nendoroid at retail stores worldwide. I think in a lot of ways this devalues the original release, as most of it isn't limited anymore, and people paid a lot of money for her on the second-hand market before the re-release was announced. It's a total gamble whether these figures are one-and-done exclusives, or if someone somewhere can't resist making more. I bought the limited Gudako Nendoroid after she had been out for 2 years, and it's just my luck that she got the same treatment as Saber shortly after I bought her. There have been explicitly labeled exclusive and limited Nendoroids with more releases and larger print runs than some standard release Nendoroids that desperately need another print run to curb their insane aftermarket prices. And given their track record, I'd bet money that GSC will release another Subaru Nendoroid, probably number 1251B, after they realize what a boneheaded move releasing him as limited actually is. In possibly better news for you lucky Americans, GSC now has a US store, which they celebrated the opening of by re-releasing exclusive Nendoroids that had been completely gone since their limited print runs years ago, because of course they did. It seems like these limited Nendos are now much easier for you to get, which is a good thing. And for the record, yes, I am insanely jealous that I couldn't get the 2-star Goku uniform Mako when that happened. But all in all, I'm just really not happy with this entire situation. Who knows if I'm going to buy Bayonetta or not. If you ever see a review of her up on this channel, then you know I've been a bad boy. I'm sure there are many more examples than what I've touched on here, and I doubt this will be the last we see of random limited exclusive Nendos. If anything, based on this year, I think GSC is just ramping up to do even more and more of them as time goes on. If you've made it all the way to the end, let me know what you think about this. And if you haven't already, butter me up with some likes and subscriptions. This has been the Ando Experience, and I'll catch you next time for another goddamn Nendoroid review. Peace.